problem. So that's why the book which is to be selected for this purpose is algorithm design book. In a typical algorithm analysis book, we study the algorithm which is proposed by the other people, and we try to understand how this algorithm works and how that particular algorithm is applicable to the different situation. But when it comes to the algorithm design, you need to find the right book where the algorithm design flavor, or you will get a approach to the design. Of course, to design a new things, you require a systematic training. You have to learn all the paradigms. You have to learn why this technique will be not applicable, why this technique is not applicable. Suppose you have got five alternative approach to design algorithm, and you need to find out the best algorithm. Best again is a relative term. Whether you want to minimize time, you want to minimize the latency, you want to meet a certain quality of service. So based on that, you are selecting algorithms. So as a designer, you have to approach this paper not like a individual that we learn in UG. Stack is given, I read it, I memorize it, it is a stack. But when the assignment it comes to implement the stack in five different way, that will be a questionable. I know what is the programming situation, paradigms, what people are exposed in different college, even writing or implementing a stack or implementing a true object-oriented programming. What I mean, the object-oriented programming concept starts with template. So template is the minimum requirement to start with the assignment. We'll come to that, not to be worried. We'll try to supply you the materials, hand notes, but things will be heavy. Please remember, things will be heavy. And let us come to the knowledge or the book that provides us the resource. If you look into the first book, Sciena, Algorithm Design, you can download from the net, it is freely available. The first red color book, Algorithm book by Sciena, you can download it. And second book, The Klinberg and Ted Does. So it's a book sometimes followed in UG courses. You may come across this book. I do not know, but unless or until you are from a mm, very tough school of computing, they will not recommend this book. So look into the title. They are algorithm design. And then comes one of the favorite book if you try to brush up your different conventional paradigms, that is algorithm analysis. Let me tell you what is the motivation of for selecting this middle one and the third one. These two books, Algorithm Design and Data Structure and Algorithm Analysis by Merkel and Weiss, it's available in India with your Pearson education. Okay, so this particular book actually starts with a problem. They have started with a problem. They try to analyze how the different paradigms are used to find out solution to a problem. Okay, so that is the reason the in initial introduction we always discuss about problem solving. The world was existing without computer. The world can exist also without computer. When computer was not there, problems are also being solved by the experts or solved by the individuals, those who are expertise in different area based on the problem. Now what we try to do, we try to find out a solution to a problem with help of the computer. When I mean to the computer, you see, I have certain assumption about you. You people have come through a standard exam. Uh, for me, if any person try to look into this algorithm design and the data structure, I assume that the person is good in computer organization, the person in good in computer architecture, because whatever we are going to discuss, we discuss on top of a machine, on top of a architecture. That means if I am discussing my algorithms on a von Neumann machine, it will be a serial algorithm. And most of the us will taught actually about the serial algorithm. If I want to go for a parallel algorithm, I need a parallel architecture. Then it is question which type of parallel architecture it is. Okay. And if you try to write down a algorithm for multi-core processor, in the market you are finding a processor with 4 cores or 8 cores, but when you are writing the program, When you are writing an algorithm, you do not have any information that how should you write the parallel structures or parallel algorithms. So for your kind information, those resources are not at all used. It is only used by the operating system programs or some utility game or application developed by a programmer who know that something can be concurrently carried out inside a processor. Okay, so the algorithms are different. As I say, if I am working on a processor with single thread or a threaded architecture, it is different. If I am writing an algorithm without thread, it is different. Okay, so when we talk about multi-core programming, I'll also introduce a book for multi-core programming to you that you'll be finding if you write a small program or a small script, you able to know how many cores are there in your processor so that you can write a multi-core programming. Very simple thing. You are writing the binary search. I am going to write down the binary search on top of a multi-core processor. Can I write? What is the algorithm? This is all about design. Okay, let us start with this book, Algorithm Design by Klinberg and Tedes. It's a design book. Okay, there is not much pedagogy material. I always in my class introduce this book because if you refer to the exercise, let me tell you, you people know what is a divide and conquer paradigm. Just if you open the exercise of the Klinberg and Teders and you try to answer to the questions, that is how you are going to answer the exercise problems, you will find the difference. You will find the difference if you look into the exercise problem for the Klinberg and Teders. And for your information, if someone will be looking into the book, maybe on your first look, you'll be finding it is difficult because the problem is spread over one page and 1.5 page. Okay, so we'll try to solve the exercise problems through assignment from the algorithm design book. Next, the beauty of this second the Steinberg book is it tried to address a single problem in his preface. The problem is called stable matching. They describe a stable matching. There is a it's a combinatorial problem. A group of eligible bachelor, I mean male and female, are there, and how to find out the stable match. And they are throughout the books. This problem is being treated in a different paradigm. Second, if you come to the data structure and algorithm analysis by Merkel and Weiss, this book has got multiple flavors: data structure and algorithm analysis, then data structure and algorithm analysis in C, then data structure and algorithm analysis in C++, and also in Java. Okay, so in this book, they have selected a problem, finding the kth largest. You have a array with n number of element, how to find out the kth largest. So this is the problem which is introduced in the preface of the book. And this particular problem is being treated in a different approach throughout the book. Okay, let me come to the computer because most of the algorithm what we have learned, they are on a serial computer, okay, or a von Neumann architecture. I hope you know what is a von Neumann architecture. The von Neumann architecture requires that the program and data must reside in the main memory simultaneously. So I hope you know a main memory, or we have roughly told called RAM. But please remember, RAM is a technology, that is a random access memory, but the appropriate term is the main memory. Random access memory is a technology. Read-only memory is also based on a technology called random access memory. Again, I repeat, random access memory is a technology. The average access time of any location is constant, and this information is available physically when we try to purchase a memory bank. It is written there. Okay, so this is, and we are discussing on data structure. So what is the definition of a data structure? It is not an interactive session, so I am not going to ask you. So if I ask someone to define the data structures, so people will define in many different way. But let me directly come to the solution or the answer, or which is the answer. The data structure is representation in main memory. The data structure is representation in the main memory. When we discuss a representation in secondary memory, we call it as a file structure. And nowadays, the computer science graduates do not know about the file structure. If you know, it is fine. So data structure is takes place in the main memory. That is the reason I need to know the main memory organization properly. How read write takes place, what is the addressing mechanism, what is the word length, etc. etc. So computer organization is must for teaching data structure. Okay, so data structure is, so what are the things if I want to say integer is a data structure? How many of you say yes? Integer is a data structure. Okay.
No.
No, you will get a big zero. Had it been a, had it been my regular class, I'll send you out. That means you do not know anything about data structure. When we talk about a data structure, I say I can very easily convince that majority of the people will give the wrong answer. When we talk about a data structure, there are two things. One is representation in main memory. Second, the operations that can be only applicable to those representation. Okay, if I am representing in the main memory, it is related to a particular standard, particular IEEE standard. I have a fixed point representation, I have a floating point representation. Irrespective of computer manufacturer, we follow that, right? And these compiler language people, they create a illusion called int and you are happy with that, but representation is fixed. I'm telling you a very simple thing. You have a 64-bit memory, right? You are 64-bit memory, but the compiler in which you are working is a 32-bit compiler. If I want to know how the numbers are stored in the memory, if you can explain, then it's fine. Again, I'm telling you, I have 8-bit computer, I have a 16-bit operating system, I am sitting on the top of a 32-bit compiler, and my compiler allowed me to define a number which is double or the integer 32-bit or 64-bit. So very simple, it is using conjugative memory location to create a single representation per 32-bit. So how these abstraction, look into this word, how these abstractions are carried out. Okay, we'll come to the definition of the data structure. It is a fixed type of representation in main memory. This word should be used. If you'll only mention memory, you are leaving a question mark that it may be in secondary memory. Secondary memory, if it is a secondary memory, it is called a file structure. We have different type of file structures. We start with a file, sequential file, indexed sequential file, indexed file, random or direct file, and multi-ring file. So this is a secondary memory representation. Then in algorithm domain, we have a fixed set of algorithm and we call them external memory algorithm. If somebody want to design the new programming for big data application, then he has to know what are the external memory algorithms. It's a ocean. It's a ocean. You can find out very big text on that. So think of the people, those who are designing the utility for different type of big data application, they start with external memory algorithm. Not that the programmers who are using those commands to perform those things. You may not know how to write a sorting program. You may not know how to write a algorithm for computing Sinex, but you are using math.h and accessing the function Sinex. This is the difference. Okay, so here it talks about the representation, and then it comes to a very simple problem. Okay, now before coming to the different books, I would like to move to this problem statement. So what is the problem?
Actually,
Our
sir,
overall process, yes.
sir, actually, what I think that integer, I think, is a data type, and
No,
data
you do not
structure.
know anything. You take a section with me. Okay, I'll have a session with you. I am very
Uh,
much confident. My 25-year experience, I can bet with anybody.
or
You
no,
people are
sir, I'm not.
cheated. No, 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 no. I am
No, sir,
telling you,
I'm
it's
not.
not your mistake. It is cheated.
Uh,
If you, I can ask you from which book you have learned.
uh,
Where from where you have learned?
Indian author, sir. It was.
Not Indian author. Don't disrespect.
Sir, I
We are
think it
Indian.
was
We are good programmer.
Bala Guru. Sir, I
Balaguru
think.
Swami. That is for jokers.
Sir,
He's not a man from
sir,
computer
it
science.
was.
Listen. Listen, he is not a man from computer science. He study, he represent the program. You see, I want my people from computer science should be different. If a person in mechanical engineering joins as a programmer, when a computer science person joins as a programmer, the computer science individual has to look for that opportunity that day. He will be the only person who is providing solution. Maybe the mechanical person is much more intelligent, may a good programmer.
Yes,
So
sir.
these are very connecting things. You have a passion about computer science. You see, I am a very vocal about this data science. People can do a statistical course and know how to run a command. They can become a data scientist, but they cannot become a computer engineer. Never.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to the data types are built into computer. You know this word? Data types are built into computer. There is a primitive data type which are built into hardware. That is, when I am going to say a integer, that particular order is available with my machine, and where whatever the operations we can perform in an integer is defined. It is defined in computer architecture. Now, can anybody respond what is a computer architecture? I'll be lucky actually if one or two people will answer this. Computer architecture. Yes, please. What is a computer architecture? Okay, let me come to the answer because it's difficult, very difficult to be interactive. The computer architecture is a set of instructions that can be executed on that processor, on that machine, which is a fixed. If I want to add two order, and can you tell me, you are allowed to perform 8-bit addition, 16-bit addition, 32-bit addition, 64-bit addition. How many orders are there inside your processor? How many orders are there? Okay. So definitely the multiple orders are not there. Then who perform this thing? This language people creates a illusion. They allow you to define double, long double, you are happy. But you never bother how a physically when there is a 16-bit order and I have a facility to perform 8-bit as well as 32-bit addition, how it takes place. In the back end, there is an algorithm which transforms your 32-bit addition to 16-bit addition or 8-bit addition to 16-bit addition. Okay, so these are the abstractions which are hidden. Okay, now come to the problem. The problem is the question which we seek to answer. Okay, so in the problem solving process, I'll discuss the data structure and others. Then again, I will come to the data structure. When we try to represent a problem in computer, we need to represent it in memory. To represent the problem, because to solve a problem with help of a computer, we have to first represent that. We have to store that. You have to store that in main memory or secondary memory. And even if you store in the secondary memory, it has brought to main memory. You want to sort 5,000 numbers. What you'll do? You want to sort 5,000 numbers. What you'll do? 5,000 number, let us say big one. Your main memory is not going to accommodate 5,000 numbers. So you store it in the hard disk or secondary storage. And let us say your main memory is capable of loading only 100 numbers at a time. So 100 number will goes to your main memory. There the data and the program or the algorithm resides in the main memory. So your algorithm acts on, or your program or executable program acts on those data, it is getting sorted, right? Okay, but how you are going to do it with 1,000 numbers? There are mechanism. So a problem requires appropriate representation in main memory, right? So to represent the problem in the main memory, we need a appropriate data structure. Here is the catch. When we say problem algorithm design or solving a problem, you got a problem statement. It is a novel problem statement. What you are finding, you are being taught about a different data structure, then you apply your knowledge and you able to conclude that none of the data structure is suitable for representation of this problem. You always must have a thought process. Don't close yourself. Never be satisfied with the data structure which is available to represent the problem. That is the new approach starts. Maybe you are the one who proposing a new representation in main memory, or you are proposing a new data structure, right? That the problem will be represented. Let us look into very simple things. You heard about sparse matrix. There are many different ways the sparse matrix are to be represented, and still people are proposing new representation of the sparse matrix. Because if I want to model my social network, it will be a sparse matrix, and if I try to represent the sparse matrix, if I'll go for the adjacency matrix, it will consume huge space. If I'll go for adjacency list also, then also some relation I will not able to reflect. So maybe somebody will propose a new data structure to only manage the social network. Then what a programmer will do, he will go for a logical abstraction. If the programmer is good in C++, then he will create a class, and in class, you have a fixed set of representation plus the functions that can be applicable to the data structure. Suppose the two social networks can be joined, so you are writing a join function. If an individual leaves the group, then maybe you need a function which will be defined in that class. So please remember, this design, object oriented, all these approaches will come together in this particular topic discussion. Your organization, architecture, object oriented programming, all the software engineering knowledges, like when we talk about a class, we talk about a use case like that. Okay, so everything will be combined in the design process. So let us come to the problem. Problem is a question which is to answer. And let us will come to a very simple problem. Suppose the problem is a selection problem, that is to find out the kth largest. You have n number up, you have to find out the kth largest. I want that you should give me 10 different algorithm for that. Okay. In conventional classes we discuss 7 to 8 9 algorithm. So what I find, sometimes people says we have covered enough. So this is your assignment, huh? You have to suggest 10 different algorithms. Let us start with the first algorithm. What will be the easiest and the crude algorithm? That what I told, there are n numbers. Have I defined any data structure? Am I saying you anything about data structure? Answer is no. It is your assumption that the n numbers will be stored in a linear array. Are stored in a linear array. So because you decided n numbers are to be stored in the linear array, so you able to write a suitable algorithm to find out the kth largest. Okay, with the assumption the n numbers are stored in the array, n numbers are stored in the array, and you are going to sort them. So you select a appropriate sorting technique, sort them, move to the kth position and find out the kth largest. And I hope you able to say in which is the appropriate sorting, ascending or descending. So what will be the complexity? Because if you are applying a typical sorting algorithm, the worst case complexity will be the order of n square, and the best case complexity will be the order of n log n, and you apply a suitable sorting techniques which will indirectly decide the complexity, and you pick up the kth largest. So how many such different algorithms you can write? Just think how many ways you can find out the solution to the selection problem. And my requirement is 10 different algorithm, and this question will continue throughout our discussion. Let us to tell me, can you think of for any can any of you thought of, you have come across the quick sort? Okay, you have come across quick sort. Somebody might study also quick select. So quick select is the algorithm which is application of the quick sort to find out the kth largest. How you can use the quick sort to find out the kth largest? Okay, this will be the second algorithm. Say then I want 10 algorithms. Maybe this is an open question for you in the exam. You need to write down 10 different algorithms to solve this problem. Another open question, which is a popular question with me, and I told the people, this is the known question you have to write in the exam. I want 5 different algorithm for 01 knapsack problem. I want algorithm. And if you know, there are different paradigms like greedy, dynamic, backtracking, branch and bound, and divide and conquer. Okay, so these 5 conventional paradigms, can you have different algorithm under one paradigm? Suppose I am looking into greedy algorithm, I can have 2 different algorithm. If I'm looking into dynamic programming algorithm, I'll always have a 2 different algorithm. One is forward approach, another is backward approach. If I'm looking into the greedy, I have 2 different algorithm. One is based on subset sum paradigm, another is based on ordering paradigm. If I am going to the exhaustive search like backtracking and branch and bound, I can have many algorithm based on the heuristic functions used or based on the representation. Okay, now when we talk about a problem, am I going to attempt to a problem where solutions are not there? That is a question. I have defined a problem to you and you put an argument to me that, sir, solution to this problem does not exist. Fine. That may be the answer also. You prove that solution to this problem does not exist. Then not too worried. When you try to find out the solution, somewhat you are able to find that there are only one solution. So if there is an one solution, why to look for the best algorithm? Because there is only way to compute a solution, so I can compute. Suppose there are 2 or 3 different way to find out the solution. Then also we can use a brute force approach and we'll try to find out 2 or 3 different solutions and pick up the best one as per our requirement. When we have many such solutions where when the number of solutions are large, then comes the algorithm. We have to find out a new algorithm. We have to design a powerful algorithm so that we can select the best algorithm. Okay, so first the problem has to be a solution. If somewhat you are able to prove the problem does not have a solution, then you justify that with the argument that problem there is no solution exist for the problem, or if not, then you have to prove that there are finitely small number of solutions, so no need of looking for designing a new algorithm. And when you able to prove that number of such alternative solutions are large enough, and if we try to find out the best solution, and to finding the best solution is requires the computation of all possible solutions, and then we select which one is the best. So there comes the designing of a new algorithm. Okay, so now we call it as a problem solving. If we are solving some problem, we are usually looking for the some solution which will be the best among others. This best is somewhat relative. If somebody say I want a cheapest solution, somebody say I want a solution which will give me more accurate result. So it depends on the problem domain that where you are satisfied. Now, if we'll come to the problem taxonomy, this is a very typical taxonomy. We're looking into with the assumption that you know P, NP and NP complete, maybe some basic, I'll take on that. So
Sir,
the first category, yes.
sir, the presentation is not visible.
So maybe, no, I don't know any reason, maybe, okay, it is, some of you are actually exercising the button. Don't touch any button. Okay. Yes, it is not visible. Somebody has touched the button, so sharing has stopped. Okay, because we have kept uh, this access control open. So somebody has used a button. Okay, next class I'll stop the sharing because the access control button is being used. Okay, now it is visible, I hope.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sir,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is because you don't use any button. Even the recording and everything, I have not restricted actually. Huh. So now
Actually,
you look into the problem. Now
my
you look at
network is very slow, weak.
which one?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Sir, my network is very weak. I'm
So
pressing
what
something and it
what I
went wrong.
told from the beginning? What what I told from the
My
beginning?
net,
Your network is slow. Why I told from the beginning? In this pandemic, we are trying to do something. I am not
yes,
the person that I'll provide you a satellite there. Why you took admission then? Don't come with that question. First
it's
line I
just
told
nothing
your
for nonsense.
network is slow. That is with many people. Everybody has to compromise.
Yes.
Everybody has to compromise. I have a 7,000 student base. I am managing since March, and I am the person who is looking after the infrastructure. And you are the few people. And sorry to say, this late admission MTech people creates a hell of problem to me. Even they are not understanding our conversation when we try to disseminate password to them. Better you leave. We are not going to provide you internet. It is infeasible thing. The whole country is struggling. Still the campuses are going on. People are placed in NIT Rourkela. So if you will slow down the course, how you will get the job? So this is not my option. This is not my problem. This is everybody's problem, and we have to move with that. Everybody has to take little bit of pain. My network is slow. I think first time I'm listening from someone. I'm taking my UG classes. None of my students will question because they know me. They are listening to me for last 3 years. Okay. Choice is yours. When government is conducting JEE advanced exam, JEE main exam all over India, people move from their places to appropriate place to appear the entrance. No one is questioned because people are looking for a career. Everybody took the pain, government, even the candidate. So this is not the problem to be discussed in this forum. Okay. So the problem taxonomy, we have the problem, we divided the problem into 3 categories. That is, first one is the undecidable problem. What it says, we do not have any known complexity or polynomial time or super polynomial time algorithm. Okay, we'll come to the polynomial time algorithm complexity. I mean that we are taking help of a polynomial, or very simple you can say n square, n cube, n log n, like that. So the group of problem for which we do not have any algorithm, we call them as a undecidable problem. Okay, and then comes the decidable problem, which is again broadly divided into 2 categories. One is intractable problem and trackable problem. Trackable problem is example is your matrix addition, matrix multiplication, and where there are common algorithms what we try to study under our UG course, where the complexity is n square or n q or n log n is like that. Then comes the intractable problem. Maybe it has a little bit of higher complexity, maybe n to the power 5, maybe n to the power 6 is like that. Okay, but it is not going to include the particular set of algorithms where complexity is n to the power n like this. Okay, so this is the problem taxonomy, and when we try to find out a solution to a problem, like this is the selection problem, I need to say whether it is fall into first category or undecidable problem, or it falls into a category decidable problem. This is before taking the help of a computer and implementing a algorithm with help of a programming language. There are a lot of pre-processing is required when we are solving a real world problem. One thing I can give you example, you have come across many algorithm. A simple question might be, suppose I asked you to write down the binary search. Okay. When I ask you to write down say binary search, my question will be like this. I'll write specifically the items are stored in the linear array, and you have to perform a binary search. Then I must mention the precondition. So usually whenever we'll ask the people what are the 2 preconditions for binary search, can everybody know or sure that what are the 2 preconditions for binary search to be performed in linear array? If not, please study binary search. There are 2 preconditions for binary search. One is it should be in sorted order. Second is there must not be any repeat element. That means if I supplied array with a duplicate element, then you should reject that binary search is not applicable to this input. So what people are doing, people are writing binary search algorithm. None of them have taken a botheration in step number 1 to validate the input which is supplied, because nobody tells us. Okay. So now when it comes to the problem. We are talking of the decidable problem, and in a decidable problem we need to answer 3 questions. That my problem must be a decision problem. The decision problem, how is possible? I try to find out the shortest path from source to destination. So I am interested to find out the shortest path from source to destination. First I have to answer, is there any path from source to destination? If there is no path, then why shortest will be the question. Similarly, if you take a look into this example, we are looking whether the given number is a prime or not. Okay, if the given number is a prime, then we are looking for a number. Suppose I am looking for a 2-digit prime number. Then it comes to the counting problem. How many such prime numbers are there with 2-digit? Maybe there are 2, maybe there are 3, maybe there are 4. I am happy if there are 4. I can generate those 4 numbers and select the largest 2-digit prime number. Let us say my question is to find out largest 2-digit prime number. First I'll check whether 2-digit prime numbers are there. Then I'll check how many such prime numbers are there. If they are finitely small number of that, then I'll not bother about my quality of the algorithm. I'll generate those 3 or 4 prime numbers and find out which one is the largest or smallest. If such 2-digit prime numbers are large in number, if they are large in number, it will take huge amount of time first generating those numbers. Then again I have to examine them. So that type of problem are known as the optimization problem. Please remember, in the real world, the almost all problems you can say blindly are optimization problem. And because of the optimization problem, we are concerned with algorithm design. If problems are not optimization problem, then we should not hunt for new algorithm. So the optimization problem are the class of problems with some objective function. Okay, objective function. Remember this word. That means whenever you try to solve a problem using computer, you must have a clear-cut problem statement. If you are going to apply the different paradigms, I'll tell you which paradigm is best suitable for optimization problem. Let us say, if I look into sorting, sorting is not a optimization problem. If I'm looking into 0-1 knapsack problem, it is a optimization problem. If you remember the 0-1 knapsack problem, we have n number of object and each object is of a specific weight and a profit associated with each and every object, and we have a knapsack or a bag of capacity m. So maybe we are representing this as a objective function. My objective is to maximize the profit, and I have a constraint that the total number of weight that can be accommodated in the knapsack is m, and we need to find out the solution to this problem. Okay, now how many such solutions are there? At least I am expecting 5 solutions from you for 0-1 knapsack problem. Solutions means I need, looking into this slide number 21, you will able to write 5 different algorithms. I can also stretch the length if you say we are smart enough. So I'll say write down 10 different algorithms. So for that, it is not at all difficult. First, you have to understand this problem is a optimization problem. This problem is a optimization problem. It has a objective function. So it is coming into this category. So you have a objective function. So the problem has a objective function. So what you will find if you go through the Kleinberg and Tedus, that algorithm design book, that is also freely available. If possible, I'll load it to the Nitris. In the Nitris, I'll post few books, you download it. Okay, so that if you download, or you can archive it so that you refer those books. I know it is difficult to get the books from the various sources, so I'll be sending good number of books to you. So you have to refer that. Now we have a objective function. Looking into the objective function, looking into this objective function, we have to find out the solution. Now, if my question will be, if this is the objective function, can I have a algorithm under divide and conquer paradigm? If yes, how many such algorithms? If no, why not? Okay. So can anyone respond what are the problems for which we can have a algorithm under divide and conquer paradigm? What type of problem has a solution under divide and conquer paradigm? Yes, please. Anyone can respond?
Optimization.
Yes. No. What type of
Sir,
problem?
Optimization problem.
sir,
Sir,
problem
a
that
big problem which
doesn't
can be uh,
Uh,
divided
uh,
into sub problems, and solution of that sub problems can be combined to give the solution of that bigger problem.
okay, who is
and
answering?
sir, the
Satyendra?
problems that doesn't need
Yes, sir.
optimization.
You see, the first answer was wrong. It is not the Merset. Merset is a problem. So first thing,
Yes,
any
sir.
problem which can be divided into independent subproblem. Okay. Any problem which can be divided into independent subproblem. What do you mean by divided into independent subproblem? What do you mean by that? Where you will divide? Yes,
two
where you will divide?
problems we
You see,
solve
when I try
two
to
problems
sort,
that
listen to me. It's not an interactive class. Otherwise, you could have told me. I'll clarify. We have to minimize with this difficult situation. You see, I have an array. I want to sort them. That means it related to the data structure. I am representing the array in main memory, and I have such facility that I divided the array into two sub array. Suppose my array has a 10 element, then I can say one of my array is from A1 to A5 and another is from A6 to A10. Try to understood that. Simply telling a problem is divided. Actually, problem is not divided. Problem operates on input, and in algorithmic language we call it as a instance. Okay, have you heard of this term called instance? A instance is divided into one or more independent subproblems. Okay, when you are finding the problem has a scope to divide the problem into one or more independent subproblems. When there are independent subproblems, you can solve them. How you will solve them? How you solve independent subproblem? What is the catch? Why the algorithm gives you better result? Because you can solve
Sir,
the
by using
subproblems.
recursion.
Not recursion. Recursion is a very dirty thing. Huh? It
So
consumes lot of
individual
resource.
problems can be solved
No,
as a base problems,
no,
base cases for our problem.
no. You refer. For me, I am a old timer. So without architecture, I don't know anything. So I can perform parallel processing. You divided the array into two half. Okay. Very simple thing. If you will ask a layman to explain quick sort is quick. Okay. How you will explain quick sort is quick? You know pass. You heard about a term called pass. Sorting. Have you heard about a
Yes,
term
sir.
called pass? And you heard
Yes.
about a term called pages. Right? What is a single pass? Single pass is a complete scan of the array. Right? Got it? Suppose I am performing insertion sort. I perform 3 pass. What will be the output? Am I going to find 3 elements in their permanent position in sorted array? Are you getting me? I have an array. I have to sort the element. I am using insertion sort and I have performed 3 pass. Or after third step, how many elements I will find in their permanent position in sorted array?
Three.
3 element or 0 element?
Zero element.
So it depends.
Okay.
Zero
This is
element and three element.
this is a puzzle for you. Okay, this is a puzzle for you. Now come to the quick sort. Quick sort in after first pass you have single element which goes to the permanent position. If you understood the quick sort, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then,
Yes, sir.
then you are applying to the left half and right half. After second pass you have 3 element.
Yes, sir.
Right? After third pass you have 7 element.
Yes, sir.
So that is the first list. Understood? Okay, think up because we cannot be more interactive. Okay, we'll have an interactive session. So this is the way, that means whenever we are finding, now comes the architecture. We have multi-core processors, we have number of cores inside, and we are writing a merge sort algorithm for, we are writing a binary search algorithm for Von Neumann machine for single processor. We are not able to take the advantage of multiple cores because cores can be independent. They can do, suppose 4 part can be sorted parallelly. So who will write algorithm for that? Okay, now come to the book. I'll go back to the book. This is the popularly book we follow, that is Algorithm, Fundamental of Algorithm by Horosh Sahni and Rasekaran. Let me tell you the motivation of selecting this book. It is a very standard textbook. Here we have a algorithmic notation in pseudocode. Okay, and my major problem for which I am struggling, really I appeal to you, please do not write C program when algorithm is asked. Please note it. It is a PG. I will completely scrap the paper. I will not award you any mark if you will write C program when I will ask for a algorithm for binary search. I want algorithm because after writing the algorithm, I have many steps to follow. That is how to prove the correctness for algorithm, how to find out the complexity of the algorithm. That is not meant for any language structure. Now come to the Sahani. Sahani, the beauty of the book is that whenever you will go through the different paradigm, you'll be finding the 0-1 knapsack problem is being treated in all chapter. And the 0-1 knapsack problem is not treated in divide and conquer. That means I cannot divide the 0-1 knapsack problem into number of independent subproblems. Okay, so that is a good book. You can find, if you look into the content, you will be finding this book also. I'll upload to the Nitris. If you don't have the book, don't worry, it will be available. So we prefer this thing because of the paradigm. Okay, now if the problem is to be proved to be optimization problem, we have to answer decision problem is answer is yes, counting problem answer is yes, then it is a optimization problem. Simple example of your optimization problem is 0-1 knapsack problem. So and what is so great about 0-1 knapsack problem? 0-1 knapsack problem, something you remember, is the NP complete problem. Today suppose somebody has invented a new computer or a new hardware, and he tried to say that my computer is very powerful. They are also trying to solve the knapsack problem. Okay, so we'll prove that we will learn how to prove a problem to be NP complete. That is must for post-graduation courses, and for PhD students, those who are attending this course, for them it is not excused. They must learn, because in the interview, in the defense, when you are starting on a problem or working for a thesis, you need to write a proof that the problem is NP complete, or you want to say to the rest of the world, I am attempting on a problem which is really difficult. Okay, now if you look into the problem solving steps, very simple. These are the problem solving with the computer. We have problem definition. This is a very painful things for the students. When they start the thesis, we ask them, where is your problem definition? They are writing the story. Master students are writing the story. So my wish that you should not do it in the next year when you will be presenting your thesis and preparing a slide called problem definition. Okay, then if your problem is properly designed, then we are looking for a algorithm to be designed or algorithm to be specification. This is actually lot of things has to be done. And what we have learned in undergraduate courses, my algorithm is given to me. Like binary search, like merge sort, algorithm is given to me, right? So we learn in undergraduate case algorithm analysis. Okay, let me tell you a very simple example. You have given quicksort. Algorithm is given. I want to analyze the worst case, best case, and the average case time complexity of the quicksort. This is the example of algorithm analysis. How I am going to do that? I have to know little bit of mathematics. I have to write down the recurrence relation for the quicksort. I hope uh, some you people have come across the recurrence relation of the quicksort, or recurrence relation, how the recurrence relation is being solved, and what are the different methods are there to solve a recurrence relation. So once I write down the recurrence relation for the quicksort, then I can solve the recurrence relation to find out the best case, worst case, and the average case time complexity for the quicksort. And for your information, looking into this particular problem, we have three different recurrence relation. Okay, and now I think you must know what is the best case of the quicksort. What is the best case? Describe what is that situation. Best case for
Yeah, when the if we are sorting the array and the array is, if we are sorting in ascending order and array is all in descending order, then quicksort is best.
Best,
Sir,
best. Yes, please.
sir, when the pivot is
zero
always the
element
first element.
No, that is the worst case.
Always the middle element.
Sir,
Which is-
hello, sir.
Yes,
elements
please.
are properly distributed.
Sir,
best case n
So
log
when
n.
it is not sorted.
sir, I hope
When
you are
the-
not.
Okay.
You are
When
not
Okay.
asking for the.
Properly distributed as the
Okay.
pivot.
So when the
Please
pivot
listen.
divides the
Please
array
listen.
into two equal
Hello.
halves.
Yes, fine. Who is answering?
Mahendra Sharma.
Okay.
Sheetal
Listen.
Agarwal.
You have a symbol, na hand. You can raise your hand so that we can interact. Okay.
Okay.
Sital, your answer is correct because when we are dividing the array to equal halves, right? When we are dividing, that means when a problem is leading to the two sub-problem of equal size, then that is the
Best
that
case.
is the
Best case.
best case. That is the best case because you try to solve to sub. That
Yes,
is
sir.
so what that is the best case. So what is the worst case?
When
In
the
worst-
pivot divides into 1:9 ratio.
1
and
into
the array
9.
is already sorted.
N minus
doesn't
1.
mean the-
1
sir,
to N minus 1.
N minus
one
N
is
minus 1 is to N minus.
No, don't analyze according to that. So you see, there is a worst case. That means whenever you are finding the pivot as the first and the last element, then what about your problem and sub-problem? Your problem is with n number of element. What I supposed to divide your problem into two independent sub-problem? So if I am placing the pivots in between, so I am dividing them equally. If my pivot is selected as the first element or the last element, then the problem Pn is reduced to Pn minus 1. Got it? So that is the worst case. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
problem you try to reduce into sub problems, but you are reducing one part is there is no sub problem. Pn is reduced to only one sub problem, that is Pn minus 1. That means there is a parallelization. When we have, then let us come into the binary search. You want to improvise the performance of the binary search. What you will do?
Sir, for binary.
Yes.
Sir, for binary search, almost anything we did, nothing. The complexity didn't change for the
No.
worst case.
I want you should. I have an array of an element, right? Listen my question. I have an array of an element. Elements are sorted in the order. I'm not happy with the performance of binary search for one of my problem. Give me a new algorithm.
Sir, I will try to break them in more parts. If that
Two parts.
breaks,
Which Ajay?
Yes, sir. So I will
Okay,
balance
Mahendra.
that. I will try to balance the tree.
Yes, Mahendra, please. Mahendra, please follow.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have two suggestions. Like one, like before what we are discussing, like about the quick shot.
No, not for quicksort. You just come to the binary search.
Okay,
I
sir.
am not happy with the performance of a conventional binary search for one of my application. I told you the precondition. I have the elements are stored in a linear array and the elements are sorted, right?
Yes, sir.
And
So,
I want to improvise the time complexity.
so one solution of what I think that is, we have to try as much as possible to balance the tree. So we can
Okay.
perform much easily the binary search as comparison to the different type of unbalanced tree. Like we are
Okay.
trying, what I'm trying to say.
No. You
we
see,
are
the key idea, you see, this is a very simple thing. In divide and conquer with the complexity or the time complexity will improve if we'll divide a single problem into many sub problems. Don't worry about where it will be executed. Okay. If I divide my problem into 3 sub problems, If I divided my problem into 4 sub problems, then what will happen when you are dividing the n element into number of sub problems? Just recall how the tree looks like. The height of the tree when you are going for a binary tree, what is the average height of a binary tree? It will be
Log n.
order of log n. So your time to traverse, because you have to come to the bottom to locate an element, so your complexity of your algorithm directly proportional to the height of the binary tree,
Binary
right?
tree. Yes.
Instead of binary tree, if you are going for a 3-way search tree, 4-way search tree,
Yes,
I told you, for my problem, remember it, I need to justify for my problem, you need to select a appropriate data structure. Nobody told you that you should use binary tree. Tomorrow you will say, sir, I have a new data structure in my mind and I can design a better search technique. How? Always remember, a better algorithm can design by modifying the representation, because the representation in main memory restrict us or facilitate us to write a algorithm. Without data structure, algorithm is nothing. Now, you know, you have read 3-way tree, 4-way search tree, m-way search tree, right? Now, for a specific application, your contribution is that, sir, if I'll represent this thing using a 4-way search tree, then my time complexity will reduce. Okay, let us come to the DNS server. DNS server, you know? Yes, DNS server.
Yes,
DNS
sir.
server. Yes, DNS server.
Yes.
Okay, in DNS server, whenever we try to resolve or you will try to convert the google.com to a IP address, we perform a search. And typically searching takes place in the main memory. How many such search you can do simultaneously? Suppose in an organization I have 7,000 students at a particular point of time, maybe I have 1,000 requests. It is coming to one server. So how many instructions I can execute at a time? Yes. How many instruction you are able to execute on a typical von Neumann machine? A single instruction. Okay, because you have a single instruction register and it will execute only single instruction. So if that is the time lag when internet is available, just there are 500 people are in the queue, even if it is very fast, that is the delay is you are connecting to the server. Now, if you are going to use binary search, can it be improved? Can it be improved? I have sorted the domain names and the corresponding IP address. I perform a search. Initially, I was performing linear search. It is unsorted. Now I sort them. I can perform binary search, but still I am not happy or no one is happy because there is a delay also. How you are going to solve this problem? How you are going to solve this problem searching for a domain name in DNS server? Either you are coming with a new data structure or you may suggest a new hardware. So for your information, please search a very old paper is there that is called circular binary search. And you'll be finding in a 10 or 15 years before, companies allow that you can buy any server, you make it as a DNS server. Then now they are designing a special server or a hardware where you can search, because they try to represent the things in a typical memory organization where simultaneous search can be performed. Got it? If simultaneously I can perform 5 or 10 searches, definitely 10 requests will be solved. This is the way problem solving starts. Okay, now this is a simple hints how we try to look into. Typically we are looking into analysis of the algorithm. Then what we try to do during analysis, we change the instance. So my first question is like this: suppose all elements are identical, how quicksort behaves to that? Is it a best case, worst case?
Worst
Best
case.
Hmm?
best
Worst
case.
case.
Worst
Worst
case.
case.
Worst case.
All elements are identical.
Yeah, worst case.
Worst case.
Similarly, the
Worst case.
items are in ascending order. I want to sort them in
Worst
descending
case.
order. So
Worst case,
these
sir.
Worst,
are
worst case.
All
Worst
cases
case.
are worst case.
yes, 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 very good. Because this is the way we conduct the many experiment or we do analyze different situation. Okay, then if it find that it meets my requirement, we go for implementation. I have a good number of people who know Python programming. Of course, Python has an inbuilt function. I have a good number of people with Java programming. I ask them, okay, you implement using Java. Then definitely testing it typically with the test data. Then every program development required a maintenance. So this is the typical problem solving test. So any problem you pick up, real world problem, and or you go to the industry, it is a problem solving. So if everything could have been solved with the library function, so there will be no job for you, because they will try to hire very less skilled person. Just look into any medical examination. Earlier, people required a trained microbiologist to do the things. Many microbiologists are there, pathologists are there. They sit on the top of a microscope and did their analysis with using their intelligence. Now, the testing kits are there, testing machines are there. A person who completes class 10 or class 12, he can put the medical sample and get the things done. So this is the things. But company required the engineer to manufacture that machine. So computer science people should not leave their domain papers, because your strength is there on your own paper, which other people are not studied or never studied. Your strength does not mean that my strength is only C language, because you have 100 number of competitors in C language. If you understood your machine, if you understood your data structure, you can design a better algorithm. Now the problem definition, we can say what is the task to be accomplished. We calculate the average of the grade of a student, given student, understand the talk given by the politician and translate them in the English. So maybe the problem definition comes like this, which requires a mathematical modeling. And then we'll talk about the problem is difficult, why I am attempting this problem. So we answer that the problem will be NP complete. We'll discuss how to prove it is to be NP complete or undecidable. Then when we develop a algorithm, how can I say my algorithm is best? Any idea how can I say my algorithm is best?
Time complexity, space
No,
complexity.
listen, not at all. No, not all. And interestingly, I'll show all those portions are available in UG book. Okay, when I say algorithm, a algorithm is optimal, I have to prove it by finding the lower bound of my problem. Please note this word. There is a complete chapter in your course that is called lower bound theory. You have to prove the lower bound of your problem. Lower bound of your problem, not lower bound of your algorithm. When I am defining a problem statement, from the problem statement, I'll prove my problem is NP complete. I'll define the lower bound of my problem. If I able to develop a algorithm where my time complexity will be same as the lower bound of the problem, then my algorithm will be optimal. Very simple question. Binary search is optimal, prove it. Okay, so this is a chapter treated, that is a lower bound theory. It's also, you refer to any typical good algorithm book, it is available. Lower bound is a chapter. Okay, so we stop with this, and there was a query from students that some classes are overlapping. I think software engineering classes. He put a query to me. No, it will not overlap. You are free to leave in the time to join in the other classes, because I had sometimes a bad habit. I can talk for 2 hours without taking a break. So you are always welcome. I will not exceed, or you remind me that if you are leaving, no need of taking permission. Second, I don't like to take the attendance. I don't want to teach anybody with gunpoint. In the teaching for last 25 years, but I didn't like it. Choice is yours. Don't make feel a teacher that audience is not there, but I don't want to take the attendance. Okay, then better you use my mail ID to put your query, my institute mail ID. I'll share all the presentations, books and materials. Okay, so if any material, extra material you need, you can ask for that. I'll be sharing even book and the handouts. So we'll conclude this session. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, sir.
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 Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm disconnecting the call. Huh? Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.